Hello, bonjour, bonsoir. It's Mary Schiller, also known as Mary in Paris. I'm so happy to welcome you to this training that is part of a new series I'm starting called the Simplicity Sessions. This one is called How to Actually Earn More While Working Less as a Solopreneur. And I've been looking forward to this training all week, and I can't wait to get started. I see that some people are joining. If you are jumping on here live, please let me know in the comments by saying hello. I am struggling a bit with the heat here in Paris. Once again, we are in our third heat wave here. So I hope my air conditioning is not too loud in the background, but that's just how it is. So who is here? Who is here? Say hello in the chat. And I am excited to tell you that we are going to be covering some topics that, in my opinion, are the most important, most impactful things that you can know as a solopreneur. For example, we're going to talk about, I'm just looking down at my notes to make sure that I do cover everything. We're going to talk about the most important aspect of your business, the most important aspect of your business, no matter what kind of solopreneur business you have. I'm going to tell you what the most important thing is. Hi, Laura. Good to see you again. Thanks for joining. I'm also going to talk about the most common problem that solopreneurs have that I have seen over the past 10 years and how to fix it. And I'm also going to share an opportunity for you to start to earn more while working less beginning this week, if that is of interest to you. This will be an interactive session, so feel free to contribute and type comments and questions in the chat anytime. And if you are joining me on the replay, thank you so much for taking the time to do that. I always appreciate it. So let me tell you just a little bit before I get into the meat of the training. I just want to give a little introduction here. I am somebody who, over the last 20 years, has engaged in what I would call radical simplicity in my life. And that includes things like I sold my last car 20 years ago, have not owned a car since then. I also majorly downsized my living situation. I have, as many of you know, moved from the United States to France for a simpler life. I don't have a lot of things that I own. So where I'm coming from is more than just the business angle. It's also from the way that I have chosen to live my life over the last 20 years. However, in recent years as a coach, I've also seen how this idea of pretty radical simplicity can make a massive positive difference if you are building a business where you work for yourself, where you're in charge of your own income and you have all of the freedoms that come along with that. So I want to start by asking you a question in the chat. And please respond if you're here live. If you were to sum up your experience as a solopreneur right now, currently, how would you describe it? For example, would you say that you are doing a lot of things but not seeing much income? Are you spending a lot of time on your business each day and wondering where the time is going? Are you recognizing that you're not connecting with the right type of people in terms of people who would make great clients for your offer? Is there something that you're feeling that is just off, that feels, we might say, out of alignment, or it feels like it's just sapping all of the joy from this process? Because those are just some of the things that I see people doing on a routine basis that are taking the joy and fun out of being a solopreneur. And we are going to look at some solutions to those situations in this training. So let me start with the most important aspect of being a solopreneur. I cannot stress this enough, and it's why I'm starting this training with this truth. It's not an idea, it's a truth. The most important aspect of being a solopreneur is protecting your energy. Protecting your energy. If you're here with me live, type that into the chat. Protect my energy. If you're on the replay, protect my energy. Here's what I've come to realize is that as solopreneurs, we can have all the best tools in the world. We can have the best AI tools, the best email marketing tools, all of that. We can have access to the best trainings available. If we do not protect our energy and manage where we are spending it, nothing else will work. Nothing. Laura says lots of effort, but not seeing traction yet. And that makes it harder each day to keep going and believe it is going to work. Protect my energy. Good. I know that what you said there, Laura, a lot of people can relate to. So thank you for sharing that. And this piece about energy applies directly to what you just said. You're putting in lots of effort, but not seeing traction yet. Makes it harder to keep going and believe it's going to work. If we are spending our precious energy on tasks that are not getting traction, if we're spending our energy on things that actually don't have anything to do with bringing money in the door, if we're spending our energy on things that are draining us, that are not fun, that we don't enjoy, and as Laura just said, we are pouring energy into trying to conjure up belief that, yes, this will work, it's not going to work. I'm going to just say it plainly. You will keep spinning your wheels if you are not completely focused on where your energy is going. And this may seem like, I don't know, a frivolous idea. It may seem like, well, I came to this training, Mary, to hear about, earning more while working less. Well, that's what the crux of it is. It's asking myself, where am I putting my energy every day? Into what exactly? What is taking up my time every day? A great exercise for you to do is to keep track for a few days of what you're spending your time doing. Are you spending your time surfing the web randomly? Are you scrolling through social media aimlessly? Are you futzing around with a website that you probably don't need to futz around with anymore because it's fine or you don't even need it? Where is your energy going? Because as a solopreneur, that is the currency, literally the currency that we have to utilize. And if we are going into this cycle of continually doing things that don't move the needle, that don't gain traction, if we are pushing ourselves and pushing ourselves and pushing ourselves to the point of exhaustion and we keep going anyway, if we are looking around and comparing ourselves to other people, if we're feeling guilty because we aren't doing enough in our mind, or we haven't achieved enough, or we haven't earned enough, or whatever it is, that is how a business falls apart before it's even begun. Or if it's been established a while and you get into those cycles, that is how a business breaks. Because energy is everything. It's literally everything. And so what I am going to teach you in this training and what I work with my clients on is so powerful because it works with your energy, not against it. Most of the things that solopreneurs are doing are working against their energy. For example, if you are trying to do your marketing, let's say, and you're doing it in a way that isn't fun, that feels like a task that you just have to check off your to-do list, that is draining your energy. That is not a good use of your time. If you've been around me at all, you have heard me utter the phrase follow the fun about a million times. And there's a reason why I keep saying that phrase, follow the fun. It's because if you let yourself do what you enjoy, the energy is there for it. There's always a way to do the things that you need to do in your business in a way that you love to do them. Otherwise, what is the point? You might as well go and get a job, because otherwise, why are you doing this? It's not just about income. It's about your life and how you're living your life. And you want to feel energized every day. You want to feel like you have a purpose for getting up in the morning. You want to feel like you are engaging your creativity and your intellect and all of those things. A lot of people over the years have asked me how I have so much energy, and it's because I follow the fun. If something stops being fun for me and it's just not interesting, I just don't do it and I find another way. I also am very conscious about doing things during the day that support my energy, like exercising and eating properly and things like that, because it all matters. As a solopreneur, you are a full and complete package. You're not just going to a job from 9 to 5 every day, doing what you're supposed to do to look busy or whatever, and then coming home and living your real life. That's not what this is. Solopreneurship is about using your energy in ways that excite you, in ways that feel more and more like you. And you don't want to be bogged down in checking off a bunch of tasks on a to-do list like you would at a regular job. As I said a moment ago, what is the point of that? And so when you think about being a solopreneur, you are really investing so much of yourself into this venture that it needs to be something that energizes you instead of something that drains you. It can't be drudgery. It can't be a list of boring things that you just have to get through. That's a job. And that's not why we're here. We're here because we want to earn an income independently. We want to do it in our own way. And of course, the problem is that we have been conditioned to fill up our time with busy work. I'm sure I'm not alone. You can tell me in the comments in saying that I've been in jobs where I would get the actual work done very quickly, and I'd spend the next 5 or 6 hours just looking like I was busy, filling up that 9 to 5. That is what a lot of solopreneurs are still doing. They are still filling up time with things that don't actually move the income needle, that don't actually lead anywhere except continually grinding away and exhausting yourself. So I'm going to pause here just for a sip of water. And while I'm taking that sip of water, I want to ask you in the chat, is any of this ringing true for you? Just say yes or no in the chat, or if you'd like to elaborate more, you can. That maybe you have brought over some of the things from a job into your solopreneur venture, that you are filling your time with things that don't actually move the needle, and it's exhausting and not getting you where you want to go. The way that I would sum up what I was just saying would be this. And honestly, I'm getting a little emotional as I'm about to say this, because when I think about this topic of your energy, it is it is so precious. It's so precious because you can't get it back. Once it's spent, it's gone. And you don't want to set things up for yourself where you are expending all of this energy every day and not getting anywhere. That's like, trying to walk the Pacific Crest Trail from a treadmill. You're just on a treadmill, but you're not actually on the trail and moving somewhere and making progress. That is not fun. I personally don't like walking on treadmills in the gym anyway, but it's not a fun place to be. And what we need to do is we need to focus our energy on, again, what is fun for us, what's exciting, what's creative, and also what moves the needle.